What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Jeff with iDownloadBlow. I have another really interesting jailbreak tweak for you on the docket. It is called CamRotate. This one is an enhancement to the stock camera app, and as the name indicates, it's all about the rotation of the camera, the way it works with the rotation lock, etc. So I'm going to go through all these settings, quite a few settings here. It doesn't look like much, but it's pretty meaty, as you will see here. So you have the enable, lock rotation, the rotation style, and various other things you can set up here. And I'm just going to turn it off, start from scratch, just to show you from the very beginning how this works. So let's just disable CamRotate. Let me show you how the camera app works without CamRotate installed. So this is the camera app, of course, and you will see as I rotate the camera app, you will see the UI, see the little shutter button, how it rotates along with the camera app, along with the options at the top, how they just rotate, they kind of fade out and fade into view, just like that. So that's just the stock way that the camera app works with the rotation. Now let's enable CamRotate and try some of these options out here. Let's start first of all by lock rotation. This will disallow the orientation changing in the camera. So it will completely disable rotation changing while in the camera, as the description states below. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. The rotation is set to portrait right now. We'll kill the app and then reopen the app just like this. And you can see it's stuck in portrait. It does not rotate like it did earlier as I turn around the device. And you can see the rotation lock on my device is off. It still will not rotate because I have cam lock enabled and I have the rotation lock on. And it's set in portrait mode. Of course, you can set different modes, or different orientations, I should say. So we'll change it up. We'll change it to portrait upside down. You should see that shutter button display upside down. I'm going to open up the camera app. You see the shutter button. Immediately, it turns upside down. So that is exactly what it does. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward settings thus far. So hopefully you're following along here. Let's go back and let's try landscape left here. Let's kill the camera app. Let's reopen the camera app. And you can see it automatically rotates to the left. So you get that orientation set up to the left. So pretty straightforward there. I would think you would agree with that. So let's disable the lock rotation. Let's try sync orientation now. This is where it gets a little more complicated. Sync orientation will sync with the system. So whichever orientation you have with your system in the app switcher, this will sync it with that. Now, by default, let me show you how it works here. Turned off sync orientation just to give you a glimpse at how it works. I'll turn the rotation lock on my system. Now I'm going to open up the camera app. Now, even with the rotation lock on, notice I can still orient the camera app independently of the system. So the system does not influence this. That is what the sync option allows you to do. It allows you to sync the system rotation with the camera orientation, and that way they both stay in sync. So whichever I have set up for the system, that will be the orientation that's set up in the camera. So you can see I have it locked in portrait mode right now. I'm going to go ahead and open the camera, and I'm going to rotate, and look, nothing happens because it is synced with the system now in portrait mode. Pretty simple stuff. Now, let's try to open up an app that allows to go into portrait orientation. Oops. Let's first of all turn off the portrait lock. There you go. Now I'm going to lock it in landscape mode for the Safari app here. Now what happens when I open up the camera now, since I have it locked in portrait mode? Look what happens. It stays locked right there in portrait. See that? So that is why sync is beneficial, because it syncs with the system. Whatever you have set up on your system, on iOS itself with the rotation lock, it will sync with that in the camera. Now, last but not least, there is this last option, rotation style. The rotation style, you have the default style. That's how it works normally. You also have an iPad style. So let me show you, just to give you a quick glimpse at the default style, how orientation or rotation works with the default settings here. You see how it just kind of switches over those top options? You see how it has sort of a fade transition? That's not like the iPad. The iPad actually rotates. You can see it rotate on the iPad. So I'm going to change it to an iPad-like rotation style, and I'm going to open up the camera app, and you're going to see it actually rotate those top options. See that? See the difference there? It's not actually, just fading, switching and fading into view, but it's actually rotating right there, just like that. So I know that was quite a bit of a walkthrough there for you guys but it really is required to be able to see all that CamRotate offers. It may not seem like a lot, but there's quite a few options available in CamRotate, and it's a pretty deep tweak for those of you who like to take photos on your iPhone. This will be beneficial if you've always struggled with how the rotation works in the stock camera app. It's available again free on Cydia's BigBoss repo. It's called CamRotate. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. This is Jeff with iDownloadBlog.